Hey, this is Ray, and welcome to my workshop. I have a treat for you tonight. Last week, I was able to sit down with Corey Muxlow from Saul Goode Guitars, a friend of mine from Down Under. Builds guitars with the Great Guitar Build Off and the Guitar Builders Collective. Also a good friend of mine. Stick around for this interview. Corey Muxlow has run Saul Goode Guitars since 2011, using mostly reclaimed and local timbers from Australia. Like many of us, it is a small shop with some limited tooling. He's shown persistence in the face of adversity over the years and has the respect of the community for that. I conducted this interview while on travel in Europe, so our local clocks were only off by 12 hours. This community truly is worldwide now. Hey, Corey.
Hey, right, how you going?
Great. So tell me, who are you? Where are you from?
I'm Corey. I've got a 10-year-old son, and I'm from a little town called Wigan in New South Wales.
Yeah. You may be the farthest away from me than anyone in the Guitar Builders Collective.
Yeah, I think Aaron might be further.
Really?
Yeah, he's down in Victoria, which is like, I'm about halfway up the eastern coast of Australia, roughly.
Yeah.
Where he's down towards the bottom of Victoria, guessing.
I tell you, watching your channel and talking to you on Instagram, the weather there seems to be crazy.
Yeah. It flooded last year, and it looks like it's going to flood again this year about the same time of year. I guess with floods, you can get higher ground where, we had fires a couple of years ago too, and you can't really outrun them.
That's true. I lived in Oklahoma for a few years, and we had fires. And I remember going to bed at night and just looking, and the horizon was a light from one side to the other.
Yeah,
and
scary.
Going to bed, wondering whether I'd wake up in the middle of the night with a fire right on my doorstep. It was crazy. Yeah, I'd rather have rain. Tell me, what got you into guitars? Why are you building guitars? Were you in a band?
I wanted a Dave Grohl guitar when I was younger, like when the first Signature came out, and I didn't have experience to pay for it. So I thought, I'll give it a go making one. And it was this flat top 335 chambered body sort of thing made out of pine.
Wow.
And I've probably refinished it about 6 times already. And yeah, I'm stopped touching it now. It's hanging up in my room.
So your first guitar was a hollow body?
Yeah, chambered out 335 style with a Squire neck that I glued in. And
so was that...
at one stage it had a Tune-o-matic and a stock tail, and then modified it to a Strat style bridge and had a single coil in the neck instead of a humbucker. It just added binding to it, which, it ended up looking horrible. It's really bad. Yeah,
your first one's really always bad. A bit of a mess.
Yeah, I've been thinking about taking getting the neck out of it and use the neck, and I thought, well, it's my first one. I don't have any first guitars like that I bought. I started with a bass when I was 14 and ended up selling that. Sold my first electric guitar. So I feel like I owe it to myself that I've got to keep this one.
Yeah. What was your first electric? What was your first electric?
First electric was an Ibanez RX-20.
Oh, yeah.
It was like an entry model Super Strat style thing.
It's playable.
I ended up repainting it and putting EMGs in it.
Of course.
And then sold it for what the EMGs were worth. So, yeah.
Good pickups are expensive.
That sort of stuff.
So what are you working on now?
Well, I've just started doing templates for the GGBO.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I'm going to do a base 6 semi-hollow with a Jazz Master trim, 3x3 headstock. Just some bit different, like, because everybody seems to do the Fender style, and it's like, I'll do it in the shape that I've been doing lately.
Yeah, I guess that's because the jazz bass and the P bass, and that's like what people think of. But
yeah,
there's no reason to keep it that way, right?
No, it's basically a long scale guitar. It's not quite a bass. It's a guitar an octave down, but it's got the 6 strings and a trim.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw you were doing templates, and you're doing the off-body pins, like the Texas Toast, and I think it's Maximum Guitar Works makes their templates.
Yeah, I've seen Brad Angrove do them as well. Use those templates as well.
That's brilliant, actually.
Yeah, well, I had trouble. Well, first off, I used double-sided tape, and then I run out. And then I don't know, like where I am, we don't have any super glue accelerator.
Really?
I can't seem to find any locally. So if we do the super glue and masking tape trick, you have to wait a while for the super glue to go off. And I've had templates slip even with that and the double-sided tape and even clamping. So I just thought I'd try this time.
Well, the pins help to line up the fixtures, so yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
So you're making your own.
I doubled up the templates today too, so the holes are in the same spot, like straight up.
Right. So you can make sure your routing on the front and routing on the back are the same. Yeah, that's good. So, what do your friends and family think about you running a YouTube channel? And how long have you been doing your YouTube channel?
Probably had my YouTube channel since not long before the first GGBO.
Right.
I've had it before then, and I uploaded a couple of demos of kit guitars I made or a bass that I made. I'd do a demo of it.
Yeah.
But there was probably only about 4 videos, and then the first Great Guitar Build-Off came along, and I was like, do I want to enter or not? I'll do a couple other things before to see whether the videos were decent enough to like put an entry in or not. And then I went, you know what, just do it.
Yeah, why not? That's kind of how I was, right? I had a channel, but I put all sorts of crap out there. And the highest number of views I had was like 50. Yeah. And I don't have 50 friends, so I don't even know how that happened. But it was a song I had written and recorded, and apparently some people liked it. I don't know. But that was before GGBO, and when it started, we're all kind of on lockdown. I decided, you know what? I'm just going to go do this, right?
Yeah.
And, it was surprising.
I had a channel for a little while, but I had no content. Like, I did that collaboration that we were talking about earlier.
Right.
And the whole idea was to put content on there so I could hit the ground running. And I never did. And they sort of paid for it, really. Because I've been, like, where I'm at now, I'm pretty much been there for a couple of years, I think, or near to it anyway. It hasn't really grown much.
Well, that leads into the next question. What are your hopes, dreams for your, not just your channel, but your guitar business? What would you like this to turn into?
I'd like to do it full time. I think anybody would want to do it full time, but
right.
I'm a bit of a realist as well. I live in a small town, so there's only so many people that want guitars or basses, or electric ukuleles or whatever. There's only so many people.
You know, I think you've got a unique approach to your guitars. I mean, your guitars are not normal, and I think there's always going to be a small percentage of people that do not want to have a Telecaster or a Stratocaster or a P bass. They want to have something else.
Yeah, it's the thing is too. When I started, I was just using anything, pallet wood, bed frames, and then lately I've been buying some nice tops from Stu Mac, and I've sort of been veering away from what I was doing, and part of me wants to get back to what I used to do, but then I've used this nicer timber and it's a lot better to work with. And it's like, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know if I can go back.
Yeah, first hit's free, kid. So now you're addicted. Now you have to get the good stuff. Ty at Shock the Fox, he's got all sorts of good wood. Just
his collection's amazing.
Oh my!
Like if you see his Instagram stories, it's just it's beyond nuts.
He's semi-pro, I think, at his level. I mean, his guitars are just immaculate, which is fine. Which is actually one of the things that's cool about this Guitar Builders Collective, I think, is we got guys of all levels, right?
Yeah, well, that going back to GGBO, your videos was one of the first videos that I watched. Scott from Bonehead, Chris from King Bespoke, and it got me thinking, well, maybe I could do it. Maybe not as good as you guys, but and then we stumbled upon this group that we've got, and everyone's
but that's expanding now.
They all had.
Chris created a website. That's expanding now. Chris created a website, and
Chris has got a website.
That's crazy.
We've got an Instagram page for it as well now.
I don't know where this goes, and I don't think any of us are really planning it. It just keeps expanding.
No, I think we're just flying by the seats of our pants, I think, really.
Yeah. I guess the one thing I guess I'd like to end with is, hey, do you have anything you'd want to add to the community, something you want to say about guitar building in general, how we encourage young people, inexperienced woodworkers make guitars or something like that.
Yeah.
And just leave it open for you to say whatever you want to say.
Yeah, well, I think anybody wanting to get into it, just do it. Like at the end of the day, if you make a mistake on a piece of wood, you can always buy another piece. If you're going to do something, do it safely. I've had a close haul with the router and didn't realise how close my finger got to the cutter.
Yeah, I'll have to grab a
playback. Oh, yeah. I had a look at it again this morning because a couple of guys in the group were saying, how much they hated routers. And, it's like, there's so much stuff out there to learn. You can learn off Crimson, you can learn off Texas Toast, you can go to guitar forums. Like when I first started, I went to a guitar forum called mylespaul.com.
Yeah.
And it had a subgenre called Luthiers Corner. And there's all kinds of, there was even pros in there. There's a guy who did work on Alex Lyson's guitars from Rush.
Yeah.
He was his tech. He did, he builds the Sportscasters, which is like a super strap. He makes a few of them. Oh, I don't know numbers exactly, but he's like really knowledgeable and he's happy to give out information too. But
yeah, I think that's something cool about the collective is if you're having a problem, you just say, hey, has anybody else had this problem? Or if you see a new tool, this came up, someone created some sort of jig and so say, hey, has anybody ever seen this? And just a long discussion of whether we thought that was a good tool or not.
Oh, the overarm router.
I guess so.
Yeah.
I think that's great. It's great to have some buddies on the other side of the ocean who've already seen it and said, yeah, don't bother with that. Or, no, I've never seen it, but
Yeah.
Looks
Especially
like
the couple of guys that sort of, well, I don't know if they exactly do it for a living. I know one of them does.
Mm-hmm.
You can ask him a question and, he'll tell you exactly where you went wrong or if you need more holes drilled into it or what.
There's a couple guys. There's a couple guys there that are semi-pro or professional. And
yeah,
that's good.
I really like Scott's contributions too. Like it'll get off topic, and him and I are probably the main reason for that too. But like just the way he goes about everything is like really methodical, and he puts more thought into a head plate than what I do a whole build or electronics cavity or something. He puts way more thought into it. Like I just do. Like I don't plan too much. I'll just, I might have plan in my head for what I want to get done in the day, but I don't get a piece of long paper and draw my guitar out before I start.
Yeah, I do. But that's just me. So it's a kind of it's interesting. I mean, really is very interesting to see the different people's approaches and the guys who are willing to go out there and put how they're thinking about this. What Scott's one real good. He'd just say, okay, how am I going to do this headstock? He was talking about how he was going to do an overlay of the headstock, but that was going to get into his truss rod access cover and whether he drill it or not. It's good to hear that.
I can't draw for crap. Really, like, if I'm doodling, I'll draw something and someone go, well, it's sounding like it's guitar. And no, it's not. So, like one of the shapes I do is just a random, like I had my first guitar traced around it, and then I wanted like a 175 sort of shape.
Yeah.
And then the way the 175 are, it's got like a little block where you have the higher frets. So I thought, well, you cut that out and have it flow into the cutaway. But I got really lucky with that, and that's probably the only time I've drawn a decent looking guitar.
All right.
But, if anybody wants to join the not the Great Guitar, the Guitar Builders Collective, go ahead and join us.
Sure.
Website's guitarbuilderscollective.com. We've got probably about 30, maybe 40 in there already, and so far it's been a really nice community in there.
Yeah.
So
I'm sure we'll boot out anyone who's a jerk, but there just aren't that many jerks out there in the small guitar building community. It's been really nice to meet everyone.
Yeah, I think people are in it for the right reasons. Some people aren't, but that's the same with life, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Well, that's as good a place as any to stop.
Yep.
So this has been an interview with Corey Muxlow from Saul Goode Guitars. See you, man.
Thanks, Ray.
Take care.
See you, mate.